Alright, y'all, what's up? What's up? Back again for what is now day 60. 60 days. We have made it 2 months officially in this journey together of discovery and figuring out who I am, who I am together. So I got Lion King playing in the background because I got my son over here. He's watching Lion King, laying down. He just got here. But, so today was cool. Started today off. Wait. Let's see if I can cancel this. So I'm still getting, 58 is still in the process of uploading. So I'm going to delete that. Because I was trying to upload it off my phone. I've been trying to upload it off my phone since last night. But it's just not working very well. So I'm going to delete that upload and redo it. Because it's not edited anyway. And I have 58, 59, and 60, which I'm doing right now, ready to upload tonight. So they will be getting posted tonight. And I have a kick game that I recorded as well that I'm going to try to get uploaded tonight. It's 12:46 a.m. right now on Wednesday morning. Haven't ate dinner, so I'm kind of hungry. Today's been an eventful day. Let me get the weather for you guys. So I'm sorry if the Lion King is too loud. I want my son to watch it because I think it has some good information, and it actually has some stuff I wanted to talk about in this video in it. So the weather was 45 degrees. Really nice day weather-wise. So I woke up this morning about 9:30. I woke up kind of like in a bland mood. I was really just ready to get my check and get my stuff back on, like the internet, because I was just bothered by it. So I got up at 9 and I decided to, instead of waiting for my check to clear, I would go into my savings and use that money to go ahead and pay the internet bill, and then take what out of my check I was going to use for the internet bill and put it back in my savings. So I did that. But I actually didn't do that. That's not what I meant to say. I actually took what I needed for getting my license reinstated out of my savings, which was $200. Took it to the law firm that I have to pay for my judgment, and got that started. Signed my little promissory note, and got that set up so that I could start the wheels rolling on getting my license back. At this rate, I should have them validated back by March 14th. But if I get insurance with SR22 before then, they'll be validated as soon as I get that insurance. So haven't decided on what I want to do yet. I probably just wait till after the 14th and then just get insurance after that, so I don't need the SR22 because it's cheaper without it. But so after that, I had hit my daughter's mother up and seen if she was awake and if my daughter was awake, and if I could go see her, just to make me feel better, and I missed her. So I went and spent the morning with her, and we played with her toys and watched this movie she was watching. Wasn't there very long, probably like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Just really hung out with her. I put some stickers on her nails, and we talked about, the things she had been doing. Her step grandmother came over to see her, and we just hung out for a little while before I left. And then after I left, I went to the Jiffy Lube by her house and got my oil changed. because I've been meaning to get that done for the longest. So I got the oil change done, and once I got the oil change done, I came back home, um, got the internet paid, and went to McDonald's, got a fish sandwich, same thing I got yesterday, and some nuggets, and came home, ate before I went to work, got ready for work, and I was at work. Work was work as usual, and it was actually pretty cool. I mean, there was a little hiccups here and there. It was busier than usual. As far as what I needed to do, it was a little more hectic, but it still went by pretty smooth. Made it through another day. One thing I did differently today at work that I do want to mention that doesn't have to do with work. It just has to do with something that I started to do while I was there. And instead of listening to music, I started to listen to one of my favorite audiobooks, which is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I was telling my boss about the book, and I let him listen to a small piece of it about leadership and the information that it had to offer about that topic. And he was kind of like nonchalant about it, which I expected because, I mean, it's different for everybody, you know. The person who told me about it was someone I held in, well, I still hold in a high regard. His name was Brian Titus. I probably shouldn't be saying people's first and last names on here, but anyway, uh, we we call him Titus, and he he told me about the book a long time ago, like the first day we met, maybe like the first or second time we hung out. And at the time, I didn't really know him that well, and I kind of had like my boss's mentality today about it when he first told me. I was kind of just like, yeah, okay, that sounds like the corniest book ever. But giving that book a chance has really like opened my mind to a lot of like mental processes and like mental like control and like the way how like it to me, Think and Grow Rich is like the Bible for getting rich. And if that's not something you're interested in or something that you have like a focus on, you're not gonna like it. It's gonna sound so like redundant and like repetitive. But to me, it's like it's helped me a lot with like the things I've been thinking about this week, and it's also helped me with some things that I've been going through today, which are as far as like respect and boundaries. Because it's like today I got into a bit of a spat over something that is pretty typical in my lifestyle, but the issue with it arose from the fact that I felt like very disrespected and talked to in a way that I don't feel like I deserved. And something that I realized about that book that it helped me to understand was that basically what I allow is what will continue. And I have to readjust. Like it's a huge paradigm shift to readjust my focus from where I'm headed to an issue. Like when I have to derail my thoughts from focusing on forward to address a small issue in my life, like in the current moment, it's like it's a test of my leadership. And I think that a lot of the things that I'm struggling with are because of the fact that I'm not a leader who is using the correct tactics to be successful. Also, I have issue with impulse and distraction. So I have to readjust like my focus on what's important. But overall, my main focus is that there's a lot of very valuable information in that book that, I mean, I have the paper over here. I'm actually going to get that paper so I can tell you guys the notes that I wrote down while I was at work. Give me one sec. I'll be right back. Sorry. Sorry, I really hate doing that, but I should have got this before I started. So today's is, that's not today's, that's yesterday's. This is today's list. And as you can see, it's a full page of information. So the first thing that I started jotting down from this book while I was working was quotes that I kept hearing that were just, not kept hearing, but that I heard that I felt like stood out in my situation. The first one is, opportunity often comes disguised as defeat. And that was something that I feel like stood out to me right now, because I feel like I've been defeated in different avenues and facets of my life that I really probably haven't been defeated at. I just haven't realized that success is one step past defeat, or one step past a no that you've gotten for something. So you have to really be able to have resilience in order to find like true success. And I feel like that's something that I lack, because there's a concept spoken on in this book that's also referencing stopping or giving up 3 feet from gold, which is like a story about how a gold miner was in the business of trying to mine gold, and how he gave up on the idea or the concept of mining 3 feet from where a massive amount of gold was, because he didn't understand the concept of seeking expert counsel. And that's something that I'm very guilty of, is like not seeking expert counsel, like eating some grandma cookies. But I want to be better about that, which is why you need to which is why I do need to give the idea of where my attention is focused more consideration, because I'm giving this effort and this energy to people who are making me feel disrespected, comfortable with saying and expressing any of their feelings that they have about me in any kind of hurtful way possible. And I'm giving effort to that that's causing me emotional turmoil, but not giving effort to seeking expert counsel on how to better my situation and my environment. So the readjusting of focus is a huge part of what I'm going through right now. The next quote that I put down was, thoughts are actual things, powerful things. And what that means to me is that not only do we control our thoughts, do we control our emotions, we control where our mind is directed and what we think about. But in order to get to that plateau of where, development really comes from, you have to control what you allow into your thought processes. And if I'm constantly giving my efforts and my thoughts to like angry thoughts and defeated thoughts, and just thoughts that are not of a prosperous direction, then I'm just asking for what I'm dealing with right now. And it's like, it makes so much sense to my lifestyle why I am and where I am, because it's all relative. Like my thoughts from years and months ago are exactly why I'm where I am today, because what I wanted at that time was more important than what I was looking for tomorrow. Like I had no recollection or kind of like interest in future prosperity development, and that changed a lot for me. One of the best quotes I've ever heard is this next one. And I don't think I'll ever forget this quote. And this is something that you can find in more places than just this book, but it's a powerful, powerful quote. More gold has been taken from the thoughts of men than has ever been drawn from the earth. That's so real in like so many different ways. Like, I can't even explain how helpful that was to exactly what I needed to redirect my focus from like anger and like just like all these different negative emotions and thoughts that I had. Like when I heard that in my audiobook, and it's just like this super calm voice, because I just listened to the audiobook on YouTube. It's a 10-hour audiobook and I got through like 5 hours of it at work today. But when I hear that, like, more gold has been taken from the minds of men, from the thoughts of men, than has ever been drawn from the earth. It's like, wow, like that alone reminds me that the control I have over my mind is such a valuable asset to me. Like, if I don't control my thoughts in a way that allow me to progress, then I'm only allowing thoughts that are, it's like your mind, and this is another thing that the book helps you to realize. It's like your mind is a fertile soil, and every thought is a seed that has the ability to germinate your entire, like, okay, so if you let a seed, a seed of weeds get fertilized, you'll get weeds everywhere, and it'll be almost impossible to get rid of weeds out of your thoughts, because it's like fertile ground. Your mind is fertile ground, and whatever you allow into it is what will flourish. It was what will become of your thoughts in your mind. Like, you have to consider that stuff all the time, because other people will try to pull you into the small-mindedness that they have and that they're struggling with, and you have to be able to not only digest it and move away from it, but you also have to be able to keep it from becoming grounded into your thoughts, because it's dangerous and it's hard work to tend to weeds. Like, weeds are almost impossible to get rid of. The majority of people quit. Success is usually one step past defeat. That quote alone comes in the very beginning of the book. So when I heard that, I was locked. I needed that so bad that literally took so much weight off my chest just hearing it, because it helps reiterate the fact that defeat is an opportunity for not just learning, but failure is like so much more fruitful than success. And like, it gives me this sense of gratefulness for my struggle, because all of the things that I feel like I've suffered defeat from and that I've become weighed down by are actually things that I have not put my focus towards as huge opportunities for success. And it's like, I have so many ways and places that I can see myself as, like I talk about in these videos constantly. Oh, you know, I just feel, you know, like I'm a failure, or I've lost this race. But it's a marathon. Not only is it a marathon, but all of this failure and all of this defeat is actually where the most learning and opportunity lives. Like, opportunity doesn't live very prosperously in the realm of success. Once you find success, opportunity is usually out the way. But failure and defeat are the breeding grounds for opportunity, for learning. And the student who stops learning is really the one who's lost. Because something that the book also reminds you is that primary and secondary education is really just the process of teaching you how to learn, and learning is something you develop through the rest of your life. It's like the lack of desire in learning is the true fundamentals of failure. Like if you have no desire to learn, you have no desire to progress, and that's not me. Like I'm constantly interested in learning. That's exactly why I do this vlog, because I want to learn not just about myself, but about things like this. The audiobook mentions another book that's called The Joy of Failure. I wrote that down because I want to check it out. I feel like there's a lot of pertinent information in a book called The Joy of Failure, because that sounds like a book I should have wrote. I notated Don't Stop 3 Feet from Gold, which is another great opportunity that failure gives you. Is it gives you the exact reasons as to why you should seek expert counsel. Because the example they use in the book is the impossible V8 engine of Henry Ford, and how Henry Ford was so adamant about getting the V8 created, and he had no idea how. Everyone told him that there was no way you could cast 8 cylinders in one block, in a single block engine. And he said, you know what? He told his engineers over and over again, just get it done. Just make it, just get it made. Just do what I'm telling you. Like, just keep going. Just keep. And after, I don't know how long it was, but we all know Ford got the V8 made. And it's like, a lot of the things that will push us past that threshold of normality is just a few steps past those places where everyone else tells us we can't go. And that's something that I've always felt like I had in myself, was that belief that there is no place I can't go. There is no thing that is off limits to my imagination or my creativity or my abilities. But I lose sight of the fact that seeking expert counsel is one of the biggest gifts that I've neglected to use in the resources that I have available, especially the ones now in this day and age that are all seem to be at my fingertips. But this is something that's why this is not the first time I've read this book. I have to keep going back to it because, like the book mentions, it's not something that you can just, pick and choose what you want to take from it and just set it down. It's not something that you can take out what you want and get a little piece of it and leave. You have to digest the entire cover to cover and really see the spectrum of what this novel has to offer, because there's way too much to derive from one chapter. Like, each chapter is like I said, it's like the Bible for getting rich, and it's like it gives you so many different directions. Like there's talks of how to build a resume. There's talks of how to present yourself at job interviews. There's so much information about like huge big business tycoons, corporations. They talk about Apple, they talk about Amazon, they talk about not a lot of newer technology like internet stuff. They talk about Microsoft, they talk about different like IBM and different computer platform companies, but it's a little dated for like the new technology of business. But the concepts are the same. The concepts are going to last for the rest of time, because The basis of this book was written by a man named Napoleon Hill, who literally was like a sidekick to Andrew Carnegie. And I know a lot of people probably don't know who Andrew Carnegie is, but he was like a founder of like United States Steel. He had his own steel company when the railroads were real big. This was years ago. He was basically like, who can I compare him? He was like the Jeff Bezos of the early 1900s, probably 1800s too. It doesn't really matter. But the dude was super rich, and he gave Napoleon Hill the opportunity to document for 20 years the things he could learn from Andrew about how to think and grow rich, because like the beginning of this list says, thoughts are actual things, and your thoughts is where every idea has ever came from. Like, your thoughts don't seem tangible, they don't seem like real actual purposeful items or objects until you create them, but they are. Your thoughts are super powerful, and that's something that the book focuses on heavily in the beginning of. Like I said, the next quote is, defeat is a stepping stone to opportunity. That's huge for me. Like, these are things that you have to write. A lot of the stuff that you hear in this book, it's so powerful. Like, when you're listening to it, like, sometimes you'll drift off and be like distracted, and it'll just be playing in your ear, and you're just like, okay. But when you tune back in and focus to it, there's so much like depth to the stuff that it mentions. Like, okay, so the job interview stuff, let's talk about corporations and all that stuff. I mean, that stuff is kind of like bland, because I mean, it doesn't really have a high regard to my life right now, and I'm not really in that realm yet. But it sets you up for when you do become a part of that realm to feel familiar with it, and to help you train your mind to feel familiar with it. Like, it gives you like it plants all of the right seeds for financial success. Basically, that's the main purpose of this book, is to plant the seeds for financial success. If you're ready to develop them, if you're ready to fertilize them with your thoughts, this gives you the tactics. So, one sound idea is all you need to obtain success. One sound idea. And I think this vlog is probably my most likely one sound idea, because I don't know what's going to come from this. I don't know how far this will get me. I don't know if this is going to mean anything to anybody. I don't know how far this will reach, but I do know. I do know. And see, that's something that I have to stop doing, because it also teaches you about being decisive and like concrete with your decisions. I do know that this vlog has the potential to be my one sound idea. And I'm okay with that, because I know, that with a little fine tuning and maybe with a little failure and a little defeat, I can make it work. I have the gumption and the drive and the discipline to make it work. And another thing that it speaks on early on is the 6 definite steps to master desire, which means this is how you readjust your focus on what exactly you want. So the first thing you do, and there's 6 steps: fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. And I wrote down an astronomical amount, but that's what I want. I mean, there's no wrong answer to that, It's an astronomical amount, because I'm a firm believer in shooting for the moon. Like, I am not average. Like, I don't think that of myself as average or regular. Like, this is an astronomical amount, because I see myself as someone who will go down in history as one of the financial big dogs to ever live. Like, I want to be like historically remembered, like a Rockefeller, like a Walton, like a Gates, like a Bezos. I see myself in that realm, in that arena, and I'm not gonna let doubt or someone else's fears tell me that I don't deserve to think that way. Determine exactly what you intend to give for that money, whether it be time, whether it be creativity, whether it be information, whether it be content. Determine what you're going to give. There's no such thing as something for nothing. Make up in your mind what you're going to do to get that money, no matter how simple it may be. Think about, here's the example that they give. Wrigley gum. You know, this guy was a salesman for another company, and he realized that the gum he was giving away for free was more of a commodity than the things he was trying to sell, and it became a huge business. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola started out as a recipe on a piece of paper, but someone had to put that recipe together and decide to bottle it and turn it into something. Like, no one said, oh, I'll become a huge billionaire over a drink, you know, but somebody did. That was someone's thought. So we have to keep that in mind. Establish a date for when you desire to obtain said money by. I got a date. It's very soon, so I have to stay busy. Create a plan and begin at once. That part is still a little gray for me. So my answer to that was ready, set, go, because I don't know what the plan is, and I'm beginning the outline of planning with these notes, which is why I kept this paper. This is our turnover sheet for our meetings at work, so I just jot down stuff on the back of them. I used to do this when I worked there before too, all the time. I used to do notes and I would write songs on the back of my turnover sheets. It's crazy. Anytime somebody gives me paper, I just feel like I want to start writing stuff on it, like more than what they have written on it. Like, this is what we get, and this is what I wrote. So I do this almost every day. Write it out. Name a time limit. So write it out. Name a time limit. Plan. That's the 5th step. And then the 6th step is read the statement twice a day, mean it, see yourself having it every day. And that will create what the book describes as a burning desire, which can be interpreted as a like huge focus and like a undescribable like direction towards what you're trying to accomplish. Like when you have that burning desire, it's like they talk about in the book how this guy was interested in becoming not Einstein, but the guy that did the light bulb. What's his freaking name? I always get him confused. Edison. He wanted to be Edison's business partner, not his employee. But he didn't live near Edison, and he didn't know what he would do to help Edison see him as a good partner in business. So what he did was he sold his last little stuff for a ticket to where Edison was. Went and got a job working for Edison first, and was like selling one of Edison's least popular products and sold it better than anyone else ever did. And that got Edison's attention to where he became Edison's business partner instead of his employee. So that's what they mean by burning desire. Like, you have to not just program into your mind what exactly you're trying to accomplish and what exactly you want, but you have to program it into your subconscious, because it will embed itself into like your dreams and into like your thoughts that you don't know you're having. And that has a lot to do with like helping you weed out all of the bad thoughts and all of the things that are like wasted space in your mind. Because it's like they talk about with Henry Ford, and they thought that he wasn't of intelligent like education, but in reality education really doesn't mean knowing it all. It's knowing how to find the answers, or having people around that are like a mastermind group who help you find those answers, and that you can either pay or consult for some kind of wage in order to get the answers you need. You know, like basically just reliable counsel. And then the other things that I wrote down just from today's listening, which I mentioned, I almost got to, I got halfway through. It's a 10-hour book. I got halfway through, and it's called Lateral Thinking: Six Thinking Hats. It's by Dr. DeBono. And then Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. That's another book that I want to read. That has to do with creativity and how to like draw things out of your other side of your brain to working. Writing the Natural Way, which is something that has something to do with clustering. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm big on writing, and I'm big on like talking and learning about creativity and ways of like I think the writing the natural way is something that helps you with writer's block. So that was interesting to me because sometimes I have suffered from writer's block. Mind mapping. I can't exactly remember what that was about, but I do think that sounds like a good book. Super Learning is another book that I wanted to check out. And A Whack on the Side of the Head are all books that will enhance your creativity and your ability to learn things differently or to see things differently. And I think those are all super powerful things for me because I already have like a super vivid imagination, and like I already look at things from a different, like a philosophical perspective. So I think taking a whack at those books will help heighten my sense of awareness for things that I didn't know I really could use to expand my creativity. And I think that will just explode different types of ideas out of me that will just point me in the right direction for where I'm trying to go as far as making this plan, because that's really what it's about. And like I do still want to finish this book, and I need to go ahead and wrap this video up. But after I'm done finishing the book and I get all the papers and notes that I have jotted down from the things that I pick up on, I'll probably get into these other books that I have to help me get the plan made, because I want to make sure I'm well well endowed with the knowledge that I need in order to set up this plan. Seeing that I'm not going to use expert counsel to get the plan, organized. I'm going to be doing it myself. I want to make sure I go after the planning with sort of a well-rounded perspective. But I'm almost at 40 minutes, and I got a bunch of videos to upload, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Get back with y'all later. If you guys get a chance or feel the need to really open up your mind about not just getting rich, but just thinking in a more dynamic way, I would highly recommend taking a peek at Think and Grow Rich. It has an audiobook on YouTube that's free. Just type in Think and Grow Rich full audiobook, and we can listen to it together. You can pass along comments or anything like that, and maybe we can set up a mastermind group. But anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for liking, subscribing, all that you guys do for me.